Okay, item number 2, COVID-19. This is discussion and action on measures to mitigate the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. This will be presented by our city manager, Dave Vaughn.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, here to provide you some updated numbers as of 4 p.m. this afternoon. There were 4 new confirmed cases here in Sutter County. Our positivity rate or new cases is up to 8.9, and our positivity rate is at 4%. As I shared with each of you, we are continuing to be open for business, and we continue to work as a city to serve the citizens. So City Hall is open. Obviously, our public areas are open, and we're continuing to watch the guidelines that are being brought down by the state so that we can open up for more events.
I understand the police department opened up this week too, back the lobby.
Yes, we did in normal hours. The only thing that's different is we do not do fingerprinting without an appointment. You have to have an appointment, but we still do them.
Excellent. So little by little, we're getting back to whatever normal is going to be, and appreciate the work of staff to keep things moving in that direction.
Thank you.
Any comments from the audience? I'll get to you just a second. Okay. All right. We do have a speaker card from Courtney Allen, please. You are welcome.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm Courtney Allen. I live on Franklin Street in Yuba City. I had a few questions for the city manager and also for you, sir. I'm glad that you're here. So I'm sure you guys are aware that the Director of Health Services for the state just released an advisory last Friday, I believe it was, talking about how they recommend not allowing groups of 40 people unless all those people have been vaccinated. And there was also an order about travel, not allowing travel unless you've been vaccinated. And I was wondering, because you guys are following suit due to state orders, what would be the kind of game plan for that stuff here in Yuba City? And I had one more kind of like a tag-along question that I wanted to kind of direct towards you, which is, I think it was in the last Board of Supervisors meeting, or it might have been the one before, Dr. Liu talked about having specific vaccines for the transient population. And I was wondering how you were planning to distribute those. I was certainly hoping it wouldn't be a situation of tracking people down and forcing them to take a vaccine. So I did just have those questions. I was wondering how those would kind of be carried out here in the community.
Okay, I'll answer those in reverse order. Okay. We don't control vaccinations, so that's a county situation. We're not we just follow the rules. So at that point, it's really county does the vaccinating, and Dr. Liu's updates will do that. So either through Ampla Health or through Adventist or through the county agencies, they're the ones who do the vaccinating of residents, whether they're.
Well, I did know that there are certain areas that are city jurisdiction over county, and I do know that that's been an issue with some police officers working with the transient population down at the riverbanks. So I thought that might fall under police jurisdiction.
No.
No, so it'd be the sheriff.
On the vaccination side, it is. On the vaccinating side, it's the county health, by county health.
Okay.
So county health officers, they manage that health piece.
Okay, and you just do whatever the county does?
Well, we follow what they're recommending, but as far as vaccinations, if folks don't choose to be vaccinated, that's really a person's choice. So we're not forcing anybody to be vaccinated. So
I really appreciate that stance. If it was from the state that said that people were forced to be vaccinated, though,
I'm going to follow what we're directed to do, which is we'll follow what's happening at the county level. But I don't if. Vaccinations, in our opinion, or at least the opinion that we have, is a choice, and we have folks that don't choose to be vaccinated. That's fine.
I really appreciate your opinion, but I think the question is if the state directs the county to require everybody to be vaccinated, are you going to follow the county and go back on what you personally believe?
I'll just have to take
hold on. That's going to be a policy decision.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think what our city manager has explained is at this particular point in time, we're not working under that edict. We don't force vaccinations. Anything that's medical is coming out of public health. So I think the simple answer to your question is if you're looking for the city to get involved with whether somebody gets vaccinated or not, that's not a decision that's been in front of us. And if it is, then we'll have to take it up at that particular point in time. But at this point, we're not going to require anybody to do something medically that they don't want to do. That's their choice.
Okay, so you want to enforce the health director of the state and what they've recommended?
If they recommend that something happens, then we get to make that choice. They have not recommended that city residents or cities get involved in the vaccination program. So at this point, we don't have any skin in that battle or any dog in that fight. We're not, as a city of Yuba City, currently requiring anybody to get vaccinated.
I really appreciate that point of view. I'll follow up with all of you tomorrow with the letter from the state health department that I would love you guys to read. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Did we get your other questions covered? You had 3, I thought.
I think they were guideline questions, and
I believe it was all, it's under the county.
Okay.
thank you.
Just wanted to make sure. Any other comments from the audience? No. Sierra?
No public comment.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
Mayor, hold on. I think we have one more public comment.
Appreciate that.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
I'm Sammy.
Can you state your full name?
Sammy Mendoza.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've been living here since 2003. It's been quite some time since I've been in here. But I've been working on a project recently about bringing back business into Yuba City. And, you know, one of the focuses about it is really bringing freedom back to businesses, because I've been seeing how a lot of businesses have been being impacted with, you know, the COVID regulations and everything that's going on. So my primary question is, you know, this system that we're putting into place, it's essentially going to embrace freedom to choose for businesses. So essentially what I'm trying to ask is, if businesses decide to stop following COVID guidelines, masks, social distancing, would there be fines involved with that?
Well, there's a two-part question to that, or two-part answer. Number one is this city has not been actively enforcing anything that would impact a business's willingness to stay open. Those businesses that have chosen to close or suspend their business have done so generally because of requirements of state licensing, okay? Not any action by the city of Yuba City. Our efforts have always been to educate, inform, and move on. So that's part one to the answer. The other part is we're engaged right now with a business retention task force, which sounds similar to something that you might be involved with. The vice mayor, the city manager, we have a member here in the audience that are on that particular task force. I'm sure if you provide them with your name, they'll be happy to reach out to you and include you in that process. But that's an effort, once again, to try to make sure that this city of Yuba City supports its business and keeps businesses open and keeps people employed.
So again, by supporting the businesses, if they were to choose to not follow the COVID regulations, would you be supporting them in that aspect also? Because, I mean, the limited capacity in a lot of places is very much impacting the revenue streams. And I see that we have a very important opportunity here in Yuba City that we can be an example of freedom in this county and in this state, because it's obvious that we're just hurting businesses, we're hurting families, we're hurting our community. And quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are also. I mean, it's just a straight up show at this point. And I think that people just want to be free. You know, as we go into the spring, you know, we were talking about rebirth earlier. I think it's time that we really start to take a look at the situation and go in another direction. Because all we're doing, I mean, if I go down to Sacramento, I see the city in shambles. Okay, it's nothing like what I've ever seen before. And that's starting to creep up over here. You know, we're starting to see, you know, a bunch of people that don't care about themselves or our city just coming to our city because there's nothing else to do. A bunch of transient people that have nowhere else to go because they're feeding off from Sacramento. And here we have an outstanding opportunity to reinvigorate our economy. So I'm just really stuck as to why we continue playing this game when there's so many other things that we could be doing to fortify our city. You know, like I said, I've lived here since 2003. I saw it since it was just a bunch of orchards. And, you know, we've grown a lot, but this is massively impeding our economy. It's massively impeding us, and I don't understand why we continue to do this to ourselves. It's like self-suicide. When we have a business opportunity here where we can open up and be back normal business. You know, I've traveled the country since November twice, and every time I've gone to a conservative state, it's open for business, nothing, just business as usual. You know, people are out having dinner with their families, the entire restaurants are full, they don't care. Things are back to normal, and I don't understand why we're still playing these games. It's just aggravating at this point. So, you know, I just want to know if people in this town start standing up and saying no, is there going to be ramifications for them? Because that's one of the main things that for me is getting them involved with this, is that I don't want them to be afraid of making that choice, because it's their choice. This is a free enterprise economy. They can choose to feed their family. They can choose to fill their business. We have the right to peaceably assemble, and that includes being inside of a business. So I'm just very confused as to what we're doing, because it's really aggravating.
So I guess the response I'm going to give to you is one that those who've been in this chambers have heard before. To date, the city of Yuba City has not written one single citation or anything to close a business, okay? What we have done is we have worked within the framework to try to keep all of our businesses open, understanding that some of those businesses are impacted by decisions or choices or laws or regulations or licensing that comes from the state of California, which are completely out of our control, okay? So at this point, while we feel the pinch of some businesses having to follow those edicts or laws, guidelines, et cetera, at the same time, they're not being enforced by this city. Okay, each one of us up here, we may have slightly different opinions, but as a group, we want to see our businesses thrive here, because we want our people to have jobs. We want the business owners to make a living, et cetera. So we're not doing the things that I think you think we're doing or may be doing, okay?
No, Roger, I just wanted to get clarity on it, you know, before we really truly embark on this project that we're working on.
Sure, and I would certainly invite you to speak with the city manager and get involved with our business retention task force, because it sounds to me like you guys are moving in a similar direction.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Any other comments from the audience? Sierra?
No public comment.
Okay.